Welcome, Gemini, to your in-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 2nd of March for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. I'm going to share with you the big themes of the week to begin with. On screen is your event chart, always influential. I'll share that with you. I'll then go through each of the influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of finance, relationships, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now and help it to continue to thrive. Mars is going to be moving on Monday, Gemini, into the most visible part of your chart. The next 6 weeks can be a time when you raise your profile in an incredibly dynamic way. But also, we have a total lunar eclipse on Tuesday, which is going to be hugely dynamic and affect all of us over the next 6 months. What's the implications for you? We also have the sun moving forwards this week into a very bountiful trine with Jupiter, the planet of fortune. How will that play out for you? And then on Friday, Venus, the relator, moves into a part of your chart. It's very much to do with friendships and sociability. I'll share that too. On the screen, first of all, we need to be mindful of your ruler. And Mercury continues in its retrograde right through to the 20th of March. So it's important when it comes to your professional situation, worldly interactions, because it's in the very visible 10th house, that you do make sure that all your thinking and all your actions are very crisp and precise. Now, I told you about Mars moving into the sign of Pisces later on Monday, but just before he arrives, he continues in a very restless right angle with the uh, electric Uranus, but the position of the moon comes into that square. So Uranus acts as a T square between the dominant Mars and the impatient Mars. And for you, the position of the moon in a part of your chart to do with how you think. You could find just early in the day on Monday that you do feel a little bit frazzled or maybe just a bit on edge and impatient. But once Mars moves later on Monday, it will give you a chance to be much more directive as far as those goals and ambitions are concerned. But as far as your event chart is concerned, Uranus actually forges a very strong link with Venus. If there is something that you've been doing behind the scenes, it may be that it's quite innovative, but you've been doing a lot of deep research, taking soundings, talking to different people. As the week goes on, you can start to feel more confident about showcasing that idea. And to be honest, the more novel it is, the better you can do. So later on Monday, Mars moves into Pisces. Mars here is known as being peregrine. It's a water sign. Mars, the ruler of Aries, in that sense, really prospers in a fiery environment or with air, which oxygenates that flame. So here you do need to be clear-minded about what you need to achieve, and that's where Mercury comes in. But in terms of having the desire to be more successful, the next 6 weeks is going to be really critical. But I mentioned about the eclipse on Tuesday. It's the only total lunar eclipse of the whole year, and it's in the practical Virgo. Now, we all know that the moon in Virgo can be a person who appreciates a degree of order in their home life. So if yours has got a little neglected around the domestic chores, a great opportunity to engage with that. But the big picture for the next half year for you personally is not to neglect your emotional needs or how you feel about things in the pursuit of your ambitions. However, on as the week goes on, with the sun moving forwards, he does forge a beautiful trine to Jupiter. Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces, so we have what's called a mutual receptivity. Jupiter is still retrograde in your second house of everyday money, but that link can be very fortunate. So as the week goes on, a breakthrough is possible around your work or around money. But on Friday, Venus, the relator moves into this 11th house for you, very much about friendships and your long-term hopes. Now we have the cautious Saturn there now, and the very delicate energies of Neptune, and Venus comes into contact with them towards the end of this week. If there is a friendship you have, or a long-term relationship that you don't feel really any longer is right for you for the next period of your planning, you can really think seriously towards the end of this week what you want to do about it. But if you are wanting to pitch your sights high as far as goals and ambitions are concerned, who you know and will be as important as what you know. So you may need to connect with people and use the charm of Venus in a strategic way, particularly with Saturn. So you can't necessarily expect to be the best of buddies with everyone in the professional context for sure. In terms of your deeper forecast for March, please see the link on the left-hand screen where you can enjoy that forecast. If you'd like to know more about the lunar eclipse energy, which lasts for the next 6 months, please click on the right-hand screen and you can watch my video for that. And if you would like to have a one-to-one with me, please check out my testimonials below. You can also take advantage of my unique offer of your personal forecast and life roadmap report, totally unique to you. And at the checkout, please apply Astro 26 and you'll get 50% off. If you'd like to understand more about the draconic version of those charts, very much to do with your soul karmic journey, please apply Draco 26 at the checkout.